23 sheep walked into Lena Mercer's flooded meadow and crossed it in single file. They were not heading for the gate. They were not following feed. They curved through brown water along a road no one could see. 3 days later, Lena was supposed to sign a contract to bury that field under new drainage tile. Instead, she stepped into the water behind the flock, pushed a steel fence rod beside their tracks, and felt it strike flat stone. Something had been built under the meadow. Her sheep had found it before she did. The lower field had cost Lena 3 hay seasons. Her farm sat in the folded hills of western Pennsylvania, 68 acres of pasture, woods, and slopes too steep for row crops. The sheep could make use of most of it. The one place they could not save was the 8-acre meadow below the barn. In a dry year, it produced thin hay. In a wet year, the tractor left ruts deep enough to hold water until July. Twice, Lena had cut grass that molded before she could bale it. The third year, she never got the mower through at all. The bank did not care why a field failed. The payment on her baler was still due in September. A drainage contractor named Clay Rourke had walked the meadow with her in February. He marked a line for new tile, studied the standing water, and gave her a price that made her stomach tighten. "It is a bad field," he said, "but we can make it behave." Lena had heard some version of that sentence since she took over the farm. Make the slope behave, make the flock behave, make the water behave. She put down a deposit she could barely spare and told him to start after lambing. Then the March rain came. The creek rose but stayed inside its banks. The lower meadow did what it always did. Water spread from the spring corner until the grass disappeared beneath a shallow brown sheet. Lena opened the barn lot, expecting the ewes to crowd the high ground. Instead, the oldest ewe stepped into the flood. One by one, the others followed. Their line bent left, curved around a patch of reeds, then straightened toward the remains of an old stone springhouse. They never broke formation. They never tested the water beside them. The path was longer than the direct route to pasture. The next morning they used it again. Lena planted survey flags beside their hoofprints. By the fourth crossing, a red curve stretched through the meadow like a question mark. She called Clay and delayed the drainage work. "For sheep tracks?" he asked. "For 3 days," she said. She spent those 3 days with a steel rod, a shovel, and wet boots. Everywhere outside the flagged line, the rod sank through soft muck. Along the curve, it struck resistance 6 or 8 inches below the surface. Not random rocks, a continuous band. At the widest bend, Lena cleared mud with her hands and exposed the edge of a flat field stone. Then another. The stones formed a capped channel barely 2 feet across. When she pried one loose, clear water moved beneath it. The flood around her was warm from the sun and almost still. The water under the stone was cold enough to ache against her fingers. She followed the channel toward the springhouse ruins. 10 yards uphill, it split into 2 narrow runs. Farther down, the runs spread into parallel beds filled with old gravel and black silt. It was not a road. The sheep had been walking on the covered edge of a water system. Lena photographed everything and sent the images to the county watershed office. 2 days later, an engineer named Amina Shah arrived carrying a hand level, a thermometer, and the cautious expression of someone who had seen too many landowners dig first and ask later. Amina knelt beside the open channel and held her hand in the flow. "This is spring water," she said, "and someone worked very hard to keep it shallow. The old beds were not designed to drain the meadow as quickly as possible. They were designed to spread cold water in a thin, moving layer, then gather it again before it reached the creek." Amina scraped silt from the gravel and found square-cut stone dividers beneath it. At the lower end, a rusted iron socket marked where a small board gate had once controlled the flow. "What would need this much cold, moving water?" Lena asked. Amina looked across the parallel beds. Watercress wood. Lena knew watercress as a handful of green leaves sealed in plastic at the grocery store. She had never imagined it as a crop, and certainly not one that had once occupied the wettest ground on her farm. That evening, she searched the farmhouse attic for old maps. She found no map, but inside a dented tin box were freight receipts left by a family who had owned the property before the Second World War. Most were for wool, eggs, and apples. 3 narrow slips listed spring cress, packed in wooden crates and shipped by rail to hotels in Pittsburgh. The receipts did not prove every stone in the meadow. They did prove the farm had once sold exactly the crop Amina suspected. The discovery changed Lena's question. She had been asking how to remove the water. Now she needed to know whether the old system could move it cleanly enough to grow food again. That difference nearly ruined the field. Lena canceled Clay's contract and lost part of her deposit. Then she rented a small excavator and began clearing the upper channel herself. The first 20 feet went well. She lifted sod, removed silt, and found intact stone beneath it. At the spring head, the channel narrowed. Lena assumed the constriction was damage. She widened it with the bucket. The bank opened all at once. Cold water surged through the trench, tore gravel from the old bed, and carried a brown plume toward the creek. One sidewall folded inward. By the time Lena shut down the machine, the clear spring had become a muddy cut 3 feet deep. A county conservation officer arrived before sunset after a downstream landowner reported the sediment. He did not fine her that day, but he issued a stop work order. The exposed bank had to be stabilized, and nothing else could be opened until a restoration plan was approved. Lena stood beside the excavator with mud to her knees and watched the sheep gather behind the temporary fence. She had canceled the drainage job. She had damaged the old channel. The bank payment had not moved. Amina returned the next morning. She did not tell Lena the discovery had been a mistake. She pointed to the collapsed bank and explained the mistake Lena had actually made. The power of the old system was not the amount of water it released. It was the amount of water it controlled. Watercress needs cool, clean, oxygenated flow. A deep ditch warms slowly but moves too fast in storms and too little in dry weather. The old builders had spread the spring across shallow gravel beds, using low stone weirs to hold depth without stopping movement. Lena had treated the spring like a blocked pipe. It was closer to a living conveyor. The restoration plan was smaller than the field and more demanding than the drainage contract. Only 3 of the original beds would be reopened. A settling pocket would catch silt before water entered them. The collapsed bank would be rebuilt with stone and rooted plants, not a vertical wall. The sheep would be fenced out of the food-growing area. Water would be tested before any crop was sold. The limit mattered. The spring could support less than half an acre of watercress, not 8 acres of miracle income. Lena sold an unused hay wagon to pay for gravel, fencing, and the first certified plants. She spent evenings setting stone by hand because the approved plan allowed very little heavy equipment near the spring. Clay came once to collect his remaining tools. He stood at the upper bed and watched water slip over the first low weir. "That is not much drainage," he said. "It is not supposed to be," Lena answered. Before planting, Lena reset 6 capstones along the curve the flock had used. The stones were not a road from one end of the meadow to the other. They were service edges beside the old beds, firm enough for a person carrying crates and, decades later, for sheep looking for reliable footing, that answer mattered. The flock had not sensed a lost crop. They had simply repeated the one path that did not sink beneath them. Lena fenced that crossing away from the growing beds and left a narrow lane to the upper pasture. The clue could remain useful without contaminating the food system. By late May, the 3 beds held a sheet of moving water no deeper than Lena's boot sole. The gravel stayed visible. Each bed emptied into the next through a narrow stone notch. She planted watercress plugs in small groups instead of filling every open space. For 2 weeks, almost nothing happened. Then white roots began threading into the gravel. The leaves spread low against the current. Where the flow slowed behind one uneven weir, the plants yellowed. Lena reset the stone and watched the water move across the whole bed again. That became the daily work. Not forcing growth, reading flow. She checked temperature at the spring head. She cleared leaves from the notches. She watched for cloudy water after rain. She kept the sheep on the upper side of the fence, even when the grass beside the beds grew thick and green. The food safety inspection was stricter than she expected. The wash area in her barn had to be separated from wool handling. The water test had to be repeated after major flooding. Harvest tools could not be shared with livestock work. The first lab sample failed. Lena had fenced the beds, but the flock still crossed above the spring head after rain. Clean-looking water was not the same as safe water. She extended the exclusion fence uphill, moved the sheep's drinking point, and waded through another storm cycle before sampling again. The second result passed. That delay cost her nearly 3 weeks and pushed the first harvest into July. The old stonework could carry water. It could not satisfy modern food rules by itself. The old crop could return only under modern rules, and those rules cost time and money. Lena accepted them because the cress was not valuable if customers could not trust it. In July, she cut the first marketable stems. The harvest fit into 12 shallow crates. It was not enough to rescue the farm. It did not pay off the baler. It did not turn the lower meadow into a green fortune. But a produce cooperative in town bought every bunch. A restaurant took a standing order for the following week. By the end of the season, the 3 beds had covered their own testing, packing, and restoration costs, with enough left to make 1 equipment payment. That was the first proof Lena needed. The second came in September. A storm dropped hard rain across the valley. Water rushed down the slopes and the lower meadow flooded again. Lena walked out expecting to find the restored beds buried under mud. The settling pocket was full of brown silt. The cress beds below it were still clear. The low weirs had slowed the water without trapping it. The rebuilt bank held. At the creek, the outflow ran cold and only faintly cloudy. The same structure that grew a crop had also kept a pulse of soil from leaving the farm. The county lifted the stop work order and approved a cost-share project for a wider grass buffer around the spring. That money did not reward the crop. It paid for the erosion control the restored system could now prove. Lena never reopened the other buried beds. The spring did not have enough flow, and the market did not need more cress than she could sell fresh. The remaining stones stayed under pasture, protected from the tractor and marked on the farm map. The lower meadow was still wet. It still could not carry a mower after heavy rain. The sheep still grazed only its higher margins. But the field was no longer judged by the job it had failed to do. It produced a small crop, slowed stormwater, and revealed why an earlier generation had shaped the ground instead of trying to empty it. The next March, rain covered the meadow again. Lena opened the barn lot and watched the flock step into the water. The oldest ewe found the familiar curve. The others fell in behind her, placing their hooves on the capped stone edge above the moving spring. Under them, the road was carrying water exactly where it was meant to go.